The greatest battle you'll ever fight is not out there in the world. It's the one you're facing within yourself. There's a common misconception that our biggest challenges are the things that happen to us. The tough situations, the obstacles, the setbacks, the people who don't believe in us. But that's not the real battle. The real battle is the one waged inside your mind. The battle between who you are today and who you're capable of becoming. It's the struggle between the version of you that plays it safe, stays comfortable, and holds on to fear, and the version of you that dares to grow, step into discomfort, and take bold action. I have had my own moments in life where I've faced this battle. I've stood at the crossroads, wrestling with myself, asking questions like, do I have what it takes to succeed? Am I really capable of achieving my dreams? There was a time when I felt like I wasn't enough, when I allowed the doubts and insecurities inside my mind to dictate my decisions. It wasn't the world that was holding me back. It was my own fear of failure, my own belief that I wasn't worthy or capable of stepping into the fullness of my potential. The problem is we don't always recognize this internal battle for what it is. We think the real problem is outside of us, that if the circumstances were just different, if the people around us were more supportive, if the timing was just right, then everything would fall into place. But here's the truth. Those external factors are often just distractions. The real fight is the one that's happening in your head. The voice inside that tells you to stop, that you can't, that you shouldn't. The voice that tries to convince you to play small, to settle for less, to avoid stepping up to the challenge that's calling you. Not you. You wouldn't be good enough. Touch you. I'm just not good enough. Or this dream is too big for me. Let me tell you something. That's the voice of your fear trying to protect you from what it perceives as danger. It's trying to keep you in your comfort zone, in the safety of what you know. But here's the thing. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Transformation doesn't happen when you stay in the same place. You can't become the person you're meant to be by listening to the voice that tells you to stay small and safe. You have to fight against that voice, rise above it, and take action despite it. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in that internal battle. This is where most people lose the fight. They let that voice of fear take control. They listen to the doubts, the insecurities, and the what-ifs that arise, and they allow them to dictate their actions. They choose to avoid discomfort, to play it safe, and in doing so, they stay stuck. They never realize their full potential because they're too busy fighting against the fear of failure or the fear of judgment from others. But here's the secret. Every time you listen to that fear and hold yourself back, you lose a little bit of the power that is uniquely yours. Every time you choose safety over growth, comfort over courage, you are letting that internal battle win. But here's the thing. You have the power to choose. You don't have to let that voice of fear control you. You don't have to let your doubts define you. The battle is yours to win. You can choose to silence the negative voices and step into the greatness that's waiting for you on the other side of fear. The moment you make that choice, the moment you decide that you will no longer be held captive by the doubts and insecurities in your mind, is the moment that you take back your power. I've had to remind myself of this over and over throughout my journey. The fear never completely goes away, but you learn how to rise above it. You learn to embrace the discomfort and keep moving forward. You learn that the only way to win the battle against yourself is to trust in your own ability to take the next step, even when you don't know what's ahead. And every time you do this, every time you push through the fear, you build resilience. You build confidence. You build the mindset of someone who knows they are capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. When you realize that the greatest fight you'll ever face is against yourself, you can start to understand how important it is to master your mind. You have to take control of your thoughts, your beliefs, and the way you talk to yourself. You can't afford to let self-doubt or fear dictate your future. You've got to step into your power and tell yourself, I am enough. I am capable. I will not let fear decide my fate. I will keep moving forward no matter what. This internal battle is not something to shy away from, it's something to embrace. Because once you win the battle within, you will be unstoppable. You'll have the mental fortitude to tackle anything life throws your way. You'll have the courage to pursue your dreams, knowing that you are your biggest ally, not your biggest enemy. And that's when you begin to experience true freedom. The freedom to be yourself, to create your destiny, and to live the life you were always meant to live. So ask yourself, who are you really fighting against? What internal battles are you still letting dictate your path? The fight may be tough, but I promise you the victory is worth it. Keep going, keep fighting, and keep believing in yourself, because when you conquer yourself, you will conquer everything else. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. It's the lens through which you view the world, and it shapes the actions you take and the decisions you make every single day. If you don't believe you can succeed, then your actions will align with that belief. If you believe that opportunities are scarce or that people are out to get you, then that's the reality you will create. But if you have a mindset of abundance, if you believe that success is possible for you, that the world is full of opportunities waiting for you to grab them, then you begin to take actions that reflect that belief. And those actions, even when they feel difficult or uncertain, lead to success. Let me take you back to a pivotal moment in my own life. There was a time when I was unsure about my own potential. I didn't have all the answers, and I certainly didn't have all the resources. But what I did have was a belief that I was capable of more than I was doing at that time. It wasn't an easy belief to hold on to. There were days when doubt crept in. There were days when I wondered if the people around me were right, wondering if I was just another dreamer who would fall short. But I refused to let my thoughts define me. I refused to let my fear control my actions. I remember waking up some mornings feeling paralyzed by the enormity of the task ahead. But in those moments, I would remind myself that the battle wasn't against the external obstacles. It was against my own mindset. I would tell myself that my thoughts didn't have to define my future. I didn't have to wait until everything felt perfect. I could take action now, even if I didn't feel ready. So I began to take small steps every day, steps that didn't require perfection, but rather required the commitment to believe in myself despite the doubts. And that's the essence of mindset. It's about taking action based on belief, not perfection. It's about deciding that you won't let fear or uncertainty stop you from pursuing your goals. It's about choosing to see the opportunities, not the obstacles. A mindset of abundance allows you to recognize that setbacks are just temporary. Failures are just lessons. And even if you face challenges along the way, you know that they are part of the process and not the end of the road. A positive, growth-oriented mindset doesn't just keep you going in tough times, it propels you forward. It allows you to see failure not as a reflection of who you are, but as a necessary stepping stone to success. When I talk about mindset, I'm not just talking about the big picture. I'm talking about the day-to-day thoughts you choose to entertain. I'm talking about the little stories you tell yourself when things get tough. We all have those moments of doubt. We all have those thoughts that say, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. But the key to developing a winning mindset is choosing not to believe those thoughts. It's about learning to reframe your challenges, to see them as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks. Here's a simple but profound truth. You can't outperform your mindset. If you believe that you can't succeed, you won't. If you believe that others are better than you or that the world is against you, then you will find proof of that everywhere you look. But when you shift your mindset and begin to believe that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, you'll start to see evidence of that too. That's your mindset. determines the way you show up in the world, and how you show up will determine the results you create. Think about it. When you walk into a room with confidence, with the belief that you have value to offer, people respond to that energy. When you face a challenge with the mindset that you can figure it out, that you can learn, grow, and adapt, you become unstoppable. But if you walk into that same room with doubts, with the belief that you're not good enough or that you're out of your depth, that's the energy you project. People will feel it. You'll feel it, and it will hold you back from the very success you're striving for. So if you're struggling with your mindset right now, if you find yourself thinking, I can't do this, I'm not capable, or I'm not worthy of success, know that this is just a moment. It doesn't define you. You are not your doubts. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your fears. Those are just thoughts, temporary and changeable. Your true potential lies beyond those thoughts. It's time to stop giving those negative thoughts so much power. The key to shifting your mindset is understanding that it's not about eliminating fear or doubt altogether. It's about not letting them control you. It's about acknowledging them, feeling them, but then choosing to act anyway. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need to wait for the perfect circumstances or the perfect plan. What you need is the belief that you are capable of figuring things out along the way. What you need is the mindset that success is inevitable as long as you keep showing up and taking action. So ask yourself, what story are you telling yourself right now? Is it a story of empowerment, of growth, of possibility? Or is it a story of fear, limitation, and self-doubt? If it's the latter, it's time to rewrite that story. You hold the pen. You have the power to change the narrative. Start telling yourself that you are capable. Start believing that your goals are within reach. And then take the action that proves that belief, because the way you think today will shape the life you live tomorrow. One of the biggest obstacles many of us face in life is the internal struggle with self-doubt. We are our own worst critics, often holding ourselves back, not because of external challenges, but because of the stories we tell ourselves about our worth and abilities. We've all had those moments when we look at a big dream or goal and feel a wave of insecurity flood over us. We think to ourselves, who am I to pursue this? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? But here's the thing, self-doubt is a killer of dreams. It's a silent force that creeps in and paralyzes you, making you question every step you take toward your goals. It's the voice that tells you that you're not qualified, that you're not capable, or that you're not deserving of success. And if you listen to it, if you allow it to control your decisions, it will keep you stuck. You'll find yourself sitting on the sidelines of your own life, watching other people go after their dreams while you remain paralyzed by the fear of not being enough. I've been there. I've had moments when the fear of failure almost consumed me. I've questioned whether I was good enough, whether I had what it took to make it. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to push through that self-doubt. It's the courage to take action even when you're not 100% sure of yourself. You see, self-doubt is a natural part of the process of growth. But it doesn't have to be the end of the story. It's what you do with that doubt that matters. Over time, I learned that self-doubt is just a feeling, and feelings are not facts. It's an emotional response to the uncertainty of success, but it doesn't reflect the truth of who you are. You are not your doubts. You are not the fears that you face. You are the sum of your decisions, the actions you choose to take, and the beliefs you choose to hold about yourself and your potential. Every time you choose to move forward despite feeling unsure, you reinforce the truth that you are stronger than your fears. In fact, the more I faced self-doubt head on, the more I began to realize that it's actually a sign that I'm growing. It's a sign that I'm stretching beyond my comfort zone. It's a sign that I'm on the verge of something bigger than what I've experienced before. Think about it. When have you ever felt self-doubt about something small or insignificant? When have you ever questioned your ability to do something that doesn't really matter. You don't feel self-doubt when you're playing it safe. You feel it when you're about to step into new territory, when you're about to challenge yourself, when you're about to make progress towards something great. Realize that self-doubt is simply a reminder that I'm on the right path. When you're chasing big dreams and setting ambitious goals, of course doubt will come, but it's not the doubt that holds you back. It's your decision on whether or not you let it control your actions. Instead of allowing doubt to paralyze you, embrace it. Recognize it for what it is, a signal that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and into a place of growth. Every time you act in the face of doubt, you gain a little more confidence. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever realized. But here's the key: you can't let self-doubt stop you. You have to show up even when you're unsure of the outcome. You have to keep moving forward even when you feel the fear of failure hanging over you. It's not about waiting for the doubt to go away. It's about taking action despite it. The action creates momentum. The more you act, the more your doubt fades, because you're building evidence that you can succeed. One of the most powerful things I learned in overcoming self-doubt is the power of self-talk. The way we talk to ourselves shapes the way we see the world and our place in it. When you feed yourself with negative thoughts, with stories of inadequacy and fear, you are reinforcing your doubt. But when you replace those negative thoughts with affirmations of your ability, your worth, and your potential, you begin to build a new story. A story where you are the hero, the one who rises above fear and doubt and keeps pushing forward no matter what. It's not about ignoring the doubt, it's about choosing to act despite it. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to feel confident. Confidence comes from action. Confidence is built by stepping up and doing the thing you're afraid of, even when you're uncertain. And as you do, you'll realize that you're not only capable of overcoming your doubts, you're capable of achieving greatness. Self-doubt will never fully disappear. Even the most successful people face moments of doubt, but they don't let it stop them. They don't let it control them. They acknowledge it, push through it, and use it as fuel to keep going. The moment you stop letting self-doubt hold you back is the moment you step into your true potential. So, the next time you feel doubt creeping in, don't see it as a roadblock. See it as a sign that you are growing. See it as evidence that you're on the right track. And most importantly, don't let it stop you. Keep moving forward. Keep showing up. Keep proving to yourself that you are stronger than any doubt that comes your way. Because the only thing standing between you and the success you desire is your ability to trust in yourself and take action even when you don't feel ready. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. Don't let your doubts stand in the way. In life, you will encounter countless obstacles and challenges. These hurdles can come in many forms: financial struggles, health issues, personal losses, relationship difficulties, and more. But here's the truth that I've learned along the way. The greatest challenge you'll ever face is not the obstacle itself, it's how you respond to it. Your ability to overcome adversity is not determined by how big the problem is, but by how you choose to react to it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not in the challenges they face, but in their mindset and determination to push through regardless of the obstacle. There was a time in my life when everything seemed to be going wrong. I faced financial struggles. I faced personal setbacks, and the weight of the world seemed to be pressing down on me. I could have easily let those circumstances define me. I could have given in to despair, allowed myself to sink into hopelessness, and convinced myself that I wasn't capable of rising above it all. But I realized that if I let the circumstances dictate my actions, I would always be at the mercy of the things that were outside of my control. Instead of letting the adversity take control, I decided to take control. I understood that the pain I was going through was temporary, and how I handled it would shape who I became. The most successful people in the world have faced their share of adversity. The key difference is that they didn't allow their circumstances to break them. Instead, they used the adversity as fuel to propel them forward as a lesson that sharpened their resilience and determination. We often think of adversity as something that happens to us. We see it as a force of nature that we can't control, a wave that knocks us down and sweeps us away. But what if we reframed adversity as something that happens for us? What if we saw every challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger, and to show the world who we really are? That shift in perspective is powerful. It turns every setback into a stepping stone, every failure into a lesson, and every struggle into a part of your story of triumph. The reality is, every obstacle you face has the potential to be a breakthrough, but the key is to not let it overwhelm you. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in a mindset of defeat. When you face adversity, you have two choices. You can either let it defeat you, or you can let it define you in a positive way. You can either let it break your spirit, or you can rise up stronger than ever before. I had my own experiences with adversity. I've faced rejection, I've lost money, and I've had moments when I felt completely alone. But each time I faced these challenges, I realized that they didn't have the power to break me unless I allowed them to. It wasn't the external forces that were the problem, it was how I responded to them. If I chose to dwell on the negative, if I chose to see myself as a victim, then that's exactly what I would become. But when I chose to take action, when I chose to focus on what I could control instead of what I couldn't, I started to see things shift. Every adversity you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. It's a chance to build resilience, to develop a mindset that is unshakable. Think about the challenges you've already overcome in your life. You may not have realized it at the time, but you are building strength with every obstacle you faced. And those experiences, the ones that felt impossible to overcome, are now part of the reason you are where you are today. But here's the thing. If you want to continue growing and succeeding, you have to embrace adversity rather than fear it. You have to welcome challenges as opportunities to level up. You can't shrink back when things get tough. Instead, you have to rise to the occasion. The more you do this, the more you begin to see adversity not as something to avoid, but as a necessary part of your journey. In fact, the more challenges you face, the more equipped you become to handle even bigger ones in the future. When you stop fearing adversity and start embracing it, you become unstoppable. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as detours that lead you to better opportunities. You stop waiting for everything to be perfect because you understand that perfection is not the goal. Growth is. You begin to focus on progress, on the small steps that take you closer to your ultimate goal, no matter how tough the journey may be. I want to challenge you today, whatever you are facing right now, whatever adversity is staring you in the face, don't run from it. Don't shrink back. Instead, step forward and face it head on. Understand that this challenge is not here to break you. It's here to make you. It's here to teach you, to sharpen you, and to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. Every time you overcome adversity, you build a little more of the person you were always meant to be. You become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. So, don't be afraid of the challenges that come your way. Welcome them. See them for what they are. Stepping stones to your success, opportunities for growth, and proof that you have the strength and determination to achieve your dreams no matter what. We live in a world where distractions are everywhere. Every day, there's something pulling at our attention, whether it's social media, the latest news, the pressures of work, or the demands of family and friends. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to start living a life that's dictated by everyone and everything around us. You wake up in the morning and immediately check your phone. You get lost in endless scrolls, reacting to messages, posts, and notifications. Before you know it, hours have passed and you've barely done anything productive or meaningful. Your day is controlled by external forces, and you're left wondering where all your time went. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. You are the one in control. You are the one who decides how you spend your time. You are the one who chooses what to focus on, where to direct your energy, and what to prioritize. But too often we get caught in a cycle of reaction instead of proactive living. We become slaves to the distractions, allowing them to take us off course and away from our goals. I want to share a personal story that really hit home for me. There was a time when I was struggling to stay focused. My days were filled with endless tasks, most of them small and insignificant. I was busy, but I wasn't productive. I would jump from one thing to the next without really accomplishing anything meaningful. It was like running on a treadmill, putting in the effort, but going nowhere. At one point, I had to stop and ask myself, what am I actually doing with my time? And that's when I realized that I had been letting other people and other things dictate how I spent my day. I wasn't setting clear priorities. I wasn't intentional with my time. Instead of focusing on my long-term goals and the things that would move me closer to my vision, I was just reacting to whatever popped up. I was allowing distractions to take over, and as a result, I was moving further away from the success I wanted. I had to make a change. I had to stop letting the world dictate my actions and take charge of my own focus. I began to set boundaries. I started saying no to things that didn't align with my vision. I began to structure my day so that I could focus on the things that mattered most, things that would help me grow, things that would take me closer to my goals. One of the most powerful habits I developed during this time was the practice of prioritizing my most important tasks early in the day. When you start your day focused on what matters most, you're setting the tone for the rest of the day. You're not letting the distractions, the meetings, or the urgent but unimportant tasks take over. Instead, you're leading with intention. You're deciding right from the start what you will focus on. And that makes all the difference. But it's not just about the time you spend on things. It's about how you spend your energy. I realized that not only did I need to focus on the right tasks, but I needed to focus on them with my best energy. When you're working on something important, something that will push you forward, you need to be fully present. You can't afford to be distracted. You can't afford to let your mind wander or waste time on things that don't matter. You have to give it your full attention, your full effort, and your full energy. This is where a lot of people fall short. They get caught up in multitasking, thinking they can juggle everything and still be productive. But multitasking doesn't work. It's a myth that leaves you spread thin and ineffective. When you try to do too many things at once, you end up doing none of them well. The key is focus. Choosing one task, one goal, and giving it everything you've got. As I start to focus on my priorities, I began to see huge changes. My productivity increased, my results improved, but perhaps most importantly, I began to feel a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that I hadn't felt before. I stopped letting the noise of the world drown out my own voice. I stopped letting the demands of others take over my schedule. I took control of my life, and with that control came clarity and focus. Here's the hard truth. You cannot afford to live distracted. If you're serious about achieving your goals, about living a life of purpose and meaning, you cannot afford to be at the mercy of every distraction that comes your way. You have to reclaim your focus. You have to be intentional with your time. Every moment you waste on things that don't align with your vision is a moment you'll never get back. Start by identifying the things that steal your focus. What are the distractions that take you away from your goals? Is it social media? Is it unproductive habits? Is it the need to please others or take on too many responsibilities? Once you know what's distracting you, make a plan to eliminate or reduce those things. Set boundaries. Turn off notifications. Schedule time for what matters most. But it's not enough to just eliminate distractions. You have to replace them with focus. You have to make time for the things that will move you forward. That means setting clear priorities and committing to them. It means carving out time for deep work, for the tasks that will propel you toward your dreams, and for the people and relationships that truly matter. When you focus, you become a force of nature. You move through your day with purpose and power. You take action with clarity and intent, and when you stay focused, you achieve results that you never thought were possible. You don't just drift through life, you create it. You stop letting the world dictate your actions, and instead you take charge of your own path. You focus on what matters most and let go of the rest. So I challenge you, stop letting distractions control your life. Reclaim your focus. Choose to live with intention and purpose. Align your actions with your vision and put your energy into the things that will take you closer to your goals. Your future depends on what you focus on today. Make every moment count.